Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Start. Okay. Last class, I think we have started this nominal pi method. Yes or no? Last class we have started.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think we have discussed phasor diagram. Or whether we have discussed phasor diagram? Yes or no? I think we have discussed. We have discussed this phasor diagram.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But the expression we have not discussed, that mathematical expression. We have not discussed that mathematical expression. Okay, we'll discuss that thing. So let IR be the load current per phase, the circuit. Yeah, this is the IR load current. Okay. R is the resistance per phase. XL is the inductive reactance per phase. So this is the R, this is XL. Now C is the capacitance per phase. So we have divided into two halves. It is CY2 and CY2. Then cos phi R is the receiving end power factor. VS is the sending end voltage per phase. So VS is your sending end voltage per phase. VR is the VR equal to VR plus J0. That is because we have taken that as reference. Then IR equal to, as it is a lagging power factor, IR into cos phi R minus J sin phi R. IC1, the capacitive current. This is the capacitive current. So this will be J omega CY2 into VR. Because J omega C VR, that is the thing, but C here it is CY2. So omega equal to 2 pi F. So this is becomes J pi FC VR. Now load current IL equal to IR plus IC1. This is the load current IR. This is the IL equal to IR plus IC1. Now VS equal to VR plus IL into Z. So VS equal to VR. This is VR. VR is here. IL into R plus XL. The R into Z. Okay. IL into Z. Now here we have substituted this thing, and IC2 similarly you can calculate, and this is IL. So I will just write this thing in the board also, so that everybody can understand it. Just a minute. Okay. This is your load. This is your VR. This is your IR. CY2. Here it is IC1. This is your IL. This is your XL. This is R. And this is your CY2. Yes. And this is your IC2. And this current is your IS. Yes. Okay. The circuit diagram. Now, let us say, first we have assumed VR equal to VR into 1 plus J0. Then IR equal to, this is VR. So IR equal to IR into cos phi R minus J sin phi R. Then your IC1, this IC1 will be equal to J omega. Capacitance is C by 2 into VR. So this is J omega C by 2 VR. So that is J, this is 2 pi A omega equal to C by 2 into VR. So J pi F C VR. Then IC1 is over. So next is IL. So IL equal to your IC1 plus your IR. Then IL you have calculated. So VS you have to calculate now. So VS equal to your VR, that is the receiving end voltage, plus your IL into R plus JXL. This drop will come. And then your IC2 will be similar way. This is J omega C by 2 into VS. So this is J 2 pi F into C by 2 into VS. So this is J pi F C into VS. Finally, your IS will be equal to IL plus IC2. Any doubt anywhere? If you have any doubt, please tell me. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
So this is over. Now we have some numerical problem. We'll discuss this numerical problem. A three-phase 50 Hz, 150 kilometer line has a resistance, inductive reactance, and capacitive shunt admittance of 0.1 ohm, 0.5 ohm, and 3 into 10 to the power minus 6 Siemens per kilometer per phase. If the line delivers 50 megawatt at 110 kV and 0.8 power factor lagging, determine the sending end voltage and current. Assume a nominal pi circuit of the further. So medium transmission line, 150 kilometer length, per kilometer per phase data are given, resistance, inductance, and capacity shunt admittance. This data is given. Then line delivers 50 megawatt power at 110 kV voltage, and the power factor is 0.8 factor lagging. So you need to calculate what is the sending end voltage and current. We will do first, we'll calculate resistance, that is 0.1, it is a per kilometer resistance. So for 150 kilometer, what is the total resistance? Then XL, similar, the 0.5 ohm is the XL for 150 kilometer. We have to calculate. Then Y is equal to 3 into 10 to the power minus 6 into 150. Y value. Then VR is 110 kV, but this 110 kV, unless and until it is mentioned a single phase, so it is system. So three-phase system, always you have to remember this voltage is given in line to line. This voltage will be given in line to line. So you need to convert into phase. So converting into phase, this will be divided by √3. So you'll get the phase voltage. Then the load current, IR, is the power, 50 megawatt power, 50 into 10 to the power 6 by √3 into 110. There's line to line voltage, 110 into 10 to the power 3, and then the power factor. This is 8. Now cos phi r is 0.8, sin phi r will be 0.6. So VR equal to VR plus J0. This is a calculated. Then IR equal to IR into cos phi r minus J sin phi r. So IR we have calculated in terms of phasor, it is 0.8 minus J 0.6. We will get value. Then IC1 will substitute the formula, that is VR into J into pi by 2. So VR we have already calculated, Y we have calculated divided by 2. So we will get 1. IL equal to again IR plus IC1. So I we have already calculated. This is IR value plus IC1. IC1 is this one. So you will get the total IL equal to VR plus IL into Z. So VR, we know that VR is 63,608. And your IL you have calculated, this is the IL value. And Z is basically, it is given, that is 15 plus J75, resistance plus the reactance. So from you get the value of the Vs, okay, angle. Now this voltage here, whatever you have calculated, that is per phase voltage, so we need to convert it into line to line voltage. Multiply by √3, you will get the line to line voltage. Then the charging current at the sending IC2, IC2 will be equal to J Vs Y by 2. So Vs, we have calculated, this is your Vs value. Y by 2, Y is this one and divided by 2. So this is your IC2. Then IS is IL plus IC2. So that means you add this thing, so you will get the value of the IS. Okay, so this is the actually how to solve this type of medium transmission line with a nominal pi method. Any doubt on this particular problem? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Next problem, that is a 100 kilometer long 3-phase 50 hertz transmission line has the following line constants. Resistance is per phase per kilometer 0.1 ohm, reactance per phase per kilometer 0.5 ohm, susceptance per phase per kilometer is 10 into 10 to the power minus some data, it is given 10 to the power, I think this is 10 to the power minus 6, okay, 10 to the power minus 6 Siemens. If the line supplies load of 20 megawatt at 0.9 power factor lagging at 66 kV at the receiving end, calculate by nominal pi method, sending end power, voltage regulation, and the transmission efficiency. So I will not explain this thing. You just calculate. I will show you this the solution, but please solve from your side because it is a similar kind of problem. You need to calculate what are the parameters, the sending end power factor, voltage regulation, and transmission efficiency. Okay. So these are the data. Up to this sending end current, you please calculate from your side. I'll give you 2-3 minutes time, 5 minutes time. So you do it. Start calculating this thing. Up to IS, you calculate. So are you getting all my PPTs and videos in the YouTube and LMS portal?
Yes, sir.
I think all the lectures, video and all the material, lecture material, it is uploaded. Okay. Are you referring these videos?
Yes, sir.
Is it useful? I would like to know whether.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Useful.
So during your let us say after class you can refer those videos that what has been discussed. Okay, fine. Are you getting these answers? Are you getting? Up to IR you have calculated? Up to IR?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You are getting IR value that 195 ampere?
Sir, 194.9 ampere.
So that is correct, na? If you approximate it to 190, that will be 195 ampere. Okay. Okay, please do the remaining part so that you can at least do later on also. So IR you have calculated. It is 176 minus J85. IR. This value. Are you getting this?
Sir, it is 174.95.
Okay. Okay. Maybe. Minus J85 you have got.
Minus 84.5.
Okay.
Minus J 84.5.
ठीक है. It's okay. Fine. So IL calculation is over. Up to IL. IL is over.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then you just solve for VS. Just check for VS. So VS is okay. VS.
$76.07.
Sending in voltage.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. It's okay. Fine. Then you just calculate IC2 and IS. Are you getting IC2? IC2? Have you got IC2?
Yes, sir. 4.07.
Minus 4.07. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Plus J. If you have got IC2, then calculate IS. IS you have got? IS. You got it, IS?
Calculating, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think you have calculated all these parameters. Okay, just to cross check whether you are getting this value. Now the sending end power factor you can calculate. How you can calculate? See, the angle between VS and VR is θ1 and VR and IS is θ2. It is a similar way we have done for nominal T method. Okay. So angle between VR and VS that we have calculated, because VS is what? VS we have, this is with respect to VS, phasor is with respect to VR. So this angle is 10.65 degree. So this is 10.65 degree. and angle between VR and IS. So you have calculated IS. The angle is minus 14.5. So this is minus 14.5. So if you add these two, 10.65, the magnitude, not the sign, because this plus this will be your 5s. So if you add this theta 1 plus theta 2, you will get 5s value, that is 25.15. So the sending end power factor will be cos 5s. Now the percentage voltage regulation will be Vs minus VR by VR into 100. So Vs, VR, and all these things are known to you. You have to substitute that. Then sending end power, that is 3 into Vs into Is into cos phi s. So you have to substitute all this value. Now the transmission efficiency, that is receiving end power. Receiving end power is your 20 megawatt. This is your 20 megawatt power. This is the receiving end power. So receiving end power by the sending end power into 100, that is your transmission efficiency. Any doubt on this problem? Any doubt anywhere?
सर जो phi 2 का वैल्यू -14.5 है वो सिर्फ मतलब लैगिंग दिखाने के लिए माइनस लगा है.
हाँ, yes. Just to have the lagging nature. Okay. But when we have to calculate this phi s, that time this is theta 1 plus theta 2. Will not take minus. Because otherwise the calculation
के समय सिर्फ मैग्नीट्यूड लेंगे ना.
हाँ, magnitude level. Correct. So I hope this is clear to all of you. Okay. Next we'll start long transmission line. The long transmission line, it is from the name, it is clear that the line length should be greater than 150 kilometers. Okay. Now in this case, in long transmission line, we cannot assume that the line parameters are lumped or it is concentrated. It is distributed throughout the length of the line. Okay. Now for the simplicity of the calculation, we'll do something. Okay. That is, we'll assume that this for a particular section, we'll consider the resistance, inductance, and the susceptance and the conductance. Okay, all these parameters we'll consider. So it is well known that line constant of the transmission lines are uniformly distributed over the entire length of the line. However, reasonable accuracy can be obtained in line calculation for short and medium lines by considering these constants as lumped. If such an assumption or lump constant is applied to the long transmission line having length excess of about 150 kilometers, it is found that serious errors are introduced in the performance calculation. Therefore, in order to obtain a fair degree of accuracy in the performance calculation of the long lines, the line constants are considered as uniformly distributed throughout the length of the line. Now, in this case, we have to apply rigorous mathematical treatment method. We have to apply. There is a separate kind of analysis for this long transmission. We'll see that, how to do that. So this is your Vs. If you have to draw the equivalent circuit, this is your Vs. And we have a n number of sections are there. So total resistance of the whole line is R. So for each section, it will be R by N. For the whole section, the reactance is XL. So for each section, it will be XL by N. And susceptance will be V by N and conductance will be G by N. Okay. This is your receiving end voltage. So figure shows the equivalent circuit of a three-phase long transmission line on a phase neutral basis. The whole length is divided into n section, each section having line constant 1 by nth for those of the whole line. Now, when we consider this long transmission line, we'll assume something. First is that the line constants are uniformly distributed over the entire length of the line, as is actually the case. So in this case, you have to assume that all these line parameters, it is distributed throughout the length of the line. It is nothing like that a concentrated or it is a lump. Okay, because for consideration of the long transmission line, we need to understand that the line constants are there distributed throughout the length of the line. Now the resistance and reactance are series elements. So R and L will be the series element, and the leakage susceptance B and the leakage conductance G are the shunt elements. So the leakage susceptance is due to the fact the capacitance exists between the line and neutral. So the leakage conductance takes into account the energy losses occurring through the leakage over the insulators or due to the corona effect between the conductors. So we'll understand this insulators and corona later on, but there are some power loss due to this leakage current. That leakage current will be actually taken by the capacitor. Okay. So admittance will be equal to square root of G square plus B square. Now we'll start the analysis of long transmission line. So when we consider the long transmission line, we'll consider a particular section. Okay, we'll not consider the whole length. Okay, we'll obviously take the whole length, but when we start the analysis, we'll take the elemental section of the long transmission line. So here you see this Vs is the sending end voltage, Vr is the receiving end voltage. Now we are considering a elemental section, that is Z is the impedance per unit length. So this will be Z into dx, and Y is the admittance per unit length. So Y into dx. So this is your elemental section dx. Now you see the voltage before this elemental section, it is V plus dV. Now when we have crossed this section, there will be a voltage drop here. So this voltage drop is dV. So what will happen? The voltage drop across this elemental section is dV. So voltage that will be available after this section, it will be basically V, because V plus dV minus dV is the voltage drop here. So this will be your V. Similarly, the current which is entering this section, it is I plus DI. So, but here you see there is a shunt path. This shunt path is taking a differential current of DI. So when it is taking DI current, so I plus DI minus DI. So the current which will be leaving from this section, it will be basically I. And this is your receiving end voltage, and this is your load. And this particular elemental section we have considered at a distance x from the receiving end. So we'll draw this particular diagram, and then we can understand that how to do this thing. Okay, so whiteboard is visible to you, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is your load. This side is your VR. Now here voltage availability is V. Here it is V plus dV. The current entering this section is I plus DI, and the current leaving this section, it is I. This is your Z into dx, and this is your Y into dx, shunt parameter, and this is your Vs. And this distance is, this is your X at a distance X from the receiving end, and this section is your delta X. The circuit diagram is clear? Circuit diagram, any doubt on the circuit diagram? Okay, so I think Now you see, the Z is the series impedance of the line per unit length. Okay. Y is the shunt admittance of the line per unit length. V is the voltage at the end of the elements towards the receiving end. This is the voltage V. V plus dV is the voltage at the end of the element towards sending end. This is the V plus dV. And I plus Di is the current entering the element dx. This is the I plus Di. And I is the current leaving the element dx. So Z into dx, this will be the total series impedance, and Y into dx is the shunt admittance. Now dV is what? dV is the voltage drop. So this voltage drop is caused due to the which current? Because this Di current will be flowing through this. So I amount of current is flowing through this section. So this will be I into Z dx. So dV by dx will be I into Z. Similarly, the current which is entering through this section, it is Di. So if it is Di current is flowing, so there is a capacitive element. So voltage into admittance will be the current. So this will be V into Y dx. So Di by dx will be V into Y. Now, what we'll do the second derivative. D2V by dx square will be Z into Di by dx. So Di by dx we know that is V into Y. So this is Z into V into Y. So D2V by dx square will be YZ into V. Now, if it is the kind of solution, if it is a kind of equation, the solution for this differential equation will be V equal to K1 into cos hyperbolic x into square root of YZ plus K2 into sin hyperbolic x into square root of YZ. Okay. Now, after that, what we'll do? We'll calculate dV by dx. So dV by dx will be, so what we'll do, I will do up to this point first, and then I will come back to next. So I will discuss this thing first. Okay. So let us do here also that dV equal to, so dV, that is a voltage drop across this, dV will be equal to I into Z dx. Yes or no? Please tell me if you have not understood, please tell me. So dV by dx will be equal to your I into Z. Similarly, the current which is entering, this is the current entering is Di. So Di current will be equal to, what is the capacitance, that is Y dx, and what is the voltage available here? Voltage is basically V into V. So this will be Di by dx will be equal to Y into V. Now let us take a second derivative of this. D2V by dx square. This will be, Z is constant. This will be Di by dx. Now Di by dx, we know this is Z into Y into V. So if it is something like this, then what we'll do? So D2V by dx square, this is equal to Z into V. Now the solution, the possible solution, if it is the nature of the differential equation, so possible solution of the above equation. So this will be V equal to K1 into cos of hyperbolic x into square root of YZ plus K2 into sine of hyperbolic x into square root of Y into Z. Up to this point is clear? Up to this point? Any doubt? Please tell me. Any doubt up to this point? Please tell me.
सर ये cos h सर
This is the generally, if this is the differential equation, the nature of the differential equation is something like this. Okay, d2v by dx square equal to yz into v. So something yz is basically a constant. Okay, some c into v. So the solution, I think you have done the solution of differential equation in mathematics. Mathematics में करा है ना?
Yes, sir.
So in that case, what we have done actually, we have to assume some possible solution. What is the possible solution of this differential equation? So V is, in this case, it will be V. This is a standard form. I have not written a new thing. This is the standard form of the differential equation. Okay. So it is V equal to K1 into cos hyperbolic. This is the solution. The nature of the solution will be something like this. Cos hyperbolic x into, this is the square root of yz because this is the value here, this is the constant, and plus k2 into sine hyperbolic x into square root of y into z. Now it is clear?
Yes, sir.
So now what we'll do, so now we know that dv by dx equal to k1 into square root of yz. Or if you differentiate cos hyperbolic, this will be sine x, sine hyperbolic x square root of yz plus k2 into this square root yz will be coming outside. This is treated as a constant. Okay, square root of yz cos, this will be sine, so this becomes now cos hyperbolic x into square root of yz. Now dv by dx equal to this value if you take, this is your I. Okay, this is your I. Now what will happen, you see, dv by dx equal to I into z. Now so what will happen, I equal to k1 into square root of yz sine hyperbolic x into square root of yz plus k2 into square root of yz cos hyperbolic x into square root of yz. See, dv by dx equal to this one. Dv by dx equal to this one. Okay. So dv by dx equal to this one means we have substituted this value here. Okay. And I into z is this one. Okay. I into z is this one. So basically, this z is divided now. So this is square root of yz k1 into sine hyperbolic x into square root of yz plus k2 into cos hyperbolic x into square root of yz. Up to this step is clear. Should I go to the board? Should I go to the board or here you can understand?
Clear, sir.
Clear. Okay, fine. Then I should not. Then at x equal to 0, so here x equal to 0 means at receiving end. X is 0 means at receiving end. So V will be equal to VR and I will be equal to IR. So V equal to VR and I equal to IR. So we'll substitute now. See, we have assumed this is the solution. V equal to k1 into cos hyperbolic x into square root of yz plus k2 into sine hyperbolic x into y into square root of yz. So now if you substitute x equal to 0 in this equation, so V becomes VR. So V equal to VR, k1 cos hyperbolic 0 plus k2 into sine hyperbolic 0. Now cos hyperbolic 0 is 1. So that's why this is k1. But sine hyperbolic 0 it is 0. So basically we are getting k1 equal to VR. Now k1 equal to VR is, you can understand k1 equal to VR. Any doubt? K1 equal to VR?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Similarly, for the sending end, x equal to 0. Similarly, let us say if we put x equal to 0, v equal to VR and IR. So now we will substitute here. So I equal to IR means this equation. So I equal to IR square root of yz k1 sine hyperbolic 0 plus k2 into cos hyperbolic 0. So sine hyperbolic 0 is 0. Cos hyperbolic 0 is 1. So k2 we can determine it is root over of z by y into IR. So if you know k1 and k2, then v and I can be determined. So what is the v? V is this k1 into this plus k2 into this. We will substitute now k1 and k2. K1 we have got, that is k1 equal to VR and k2 equal to, we have got, that is square root of z by y into IR. So VR into cos hyperbolic x into square root of yz plus square root of z by y into IR sine hyperbolic x into square root of yz. Now I is equal to similarly, this is square root of yz into k1. K1 is VR. sine hyperbolic x into square root of yz plus IR, K2 is IR into square root of yz, okay, cos hyperbolic x into square root of yz. See, this is root over z by y into IR. So root over z by y and root over y by z, it will cancel. So only IR will be here, okay. So you can calculate V and Y. Now for the sending end, what is the case for the sending end? X will be equal to L because that is the line length. X we have calculated from the receiving end. So if you substitute X equal to L, you will come to the sending end. So what will happen? You will substitute now X equal to L in this equation. So this becomes Vs. Vs equal to Vr cos hyperbolic L into square root of Yz plus square root of Z by Y IR sine hyperbolic L into square root of Yz. Now Is equal to square root of Yz into Vs. Vr sine hyperbolic L into square root of Yz plus IR into cos hyperbolic L into square root of Yz. Now L into square root of Yz, what will happen if you enter this L inside? So L into Y and L into Z. So this becomes Yz small l into small y. So for the whole length, the admittance you can calculate, that is Y. And for the whole length, the total impedance is Z. So similarly, y by small y by z will be equal to capital Y by z. So this you can substitute here actually. This you can substitute. So this becomes Vs equal to Vr plus cos hyperbolic. This L into square root of Yz, this becomes square root of Yz, capital Yz plus IR square root of capital Z by Y sine hyperbolic square root of Yz. Is equal to Vr into square root of Y by capital Y by Z sine hyperbolic square root of Yz plus IR cos hyperbolic square root of Yz. So cos hyperbolic square root of Yz, this becomes 1 plus Yz by 2 plus Y square plus Z square by 24. This is a series basically. So this is the final expression of the Vs and Is for the long transmission line. Now any doubt from any portion, any derivation? Anywhere you have any doubt?
नो सर, पर एक बार खुद से करना पड़ेगा तब पता चलेगा.
Yeah, but should I do in the board? Is it required?
No, sir.
Okay, fine.
नो सर.
Okay, so you can practice at least. If you practice, then I think it will be okay. Okay, so fine. Now I'll go to the attendance part. I will go to the attendance part. Please put your attendance. Is it working? Is it working? This QR code? QR code is working?
Yes, sir.
Okay. For attendance. Is it over, na? I think it is over. Attendance part, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, thank you. I think that's all for you. Now, the special thing is, can you guess who has designed it? It's not taken from the internet. Is it good or bad? This one?
Very good, sir.
Good, sir.
It is actually designed by my daughter. So she told me that you show this thing in your class. So I thought, yes, I should show it. So you will feel something that is a cartoon. Okay. So thank you to all of you. I will stop share this thing. Okay. We'll continue in next class. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Your
Thank
daughter is
you.
very lucky.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I will stop now.